Hi, everybody. This is Patricia Cori for a Moment of Zen, coming to you live from the rather funky Azores Islands today. As you can, well, you probably can't make it out, but in the background there's this white out, which is really a cloud out. So as high up as I sit here on a hilltop in the Azores Islands, I'm in a cloud. So I decided, why not come? It's been a while since I've come to you live, and I've got a minute, and we know that my minutes turn into hours, and especially now with the time warp we're in, holy moly, the hours are turning into minutes, so I'm all confused. At any rate, hi everyone, I hope you're all well. Hi Samir and Cosmo and Tammy, Gilad, Beverly, thank you all for joining. And for those of you watching this on YouTube, please be aware that this is a stream of consciousness free-form video that is being aired on Facebook Live and then posted after on YouTube. So when I make reference to the people, it's because they're coming in and greeting me as we speak. So why am I speaking to you today? Hi, Guilherme. Nice to hear from you. Where you been? Making all your beautiful art. I watch it. I feel it. Good for you. Good for all the work you're doing. Okay, so why am I coming today? Well, kind of a general feeling that I'd like to talk about the soul purpose, people's mission, life mission, etc. Because I've been doing a lot, really a lot. Hi, Vicki. A lot of sessions the last 2 weeks, a lot of clairvoyant sessions. And almost all of them are about people asking, needing, wanting to know what their purpose is, their life purpose. And I think it's really important. And I also think that, well, what do I think about this? I think it's important that we clarify the road to understanding that your life mission isn't just somebody waving a wand and giving you some script of who you are and what your mission is. And so be aware of that when you go to a reader, or when you talk, when you ask for someone to consult with you, that this is so very, very deep. And I'd like to share my thoughts on that. So here we go. If you're familiar with my work and plenty of my speeches, you know that my theory about this tube we're in is that we come in by choice. Please forgive me, I know I'm speaking to the choir on this introductory information, but to get to my point. We come in, we're soul essence, we decide for some, I always say I must have drunk too much nectar on the Mount Olympus. We decide to come in and experience this journey of physicality, of extreme duality at the soul level. We choose the mother and father, the key players that are family, that are karmic relationships that still need work. And the place and the time. And by nature of that, and I'm sure that you've heard me say this before, but bear with me, by nature of that aspect of the coming in part, it can only make sense that we also choose the going out time. And again, those that will be with us when that happens, the time, the place, already set. This is one of the reasons why I'm so at peace with life, because I truly am a believer in the fact that there's a certain predestiny in life, and that in the meantime, in this tube that we call the three-dimensional reality or the physical lifetime, there are plenty of opportunities, and this is a big word I'm going to talk about today, and aspect of our lives here. We certainly have incredible fields of opportunity to work from, but that there is also a certain predestiny to those aspects, the coming in and the going out of this tube. So some people, I mean, really a lot of people that I've read in these last couple of weeks are really troubled or searching for the answer to the question, what is my mission? And I tell them, as much as I can, make them understand that, number one, you've got to get back to the essence, the very essence of why you as a soul decided to come in here and play in this field. And there's so much information and so many perceptions of why so many of us have come back. For example, there's the Atlantean clan, of which I am one, who believe or really know that they did ancient Atlantis at the time of the destruction there, and they've come back to anchor the light and to hold the vibe so that the Atlantis doesn't occur again. Hence the name of my book, Atlantis Rising, The Struggle of Darkness and Light, and the question of the replaying of Atlantis with all the crystal technology and us being at a sort of brink yet again. And that feeling that your purpose is simply that, to anchor the light. And that is immense. Some people are saying, you're so lucky, Patricia, you've really got an important soul purpose and mission. And it's like, it's not luck. There's no luck involved here. These are choices and a path, a life path that not only is set by certain determining factors in your life or family or people you bump into that change your life, but also a pursuit of things that add to the complexity of your, what I like to call, portfolio. And I've mentioned the portfolio before in reference to my older brother who said, sis, I'd love to know how your portfolio is doing. And my answer was, my portfolio is the images and experiences I have of Tibet and Peru and all these places I've been searching, seeking, remembering my shaman path and putting together. And I'm honored to say being recognized for that by so many shamans in so many places. And I really recommend to people, where you travel has a lot to do with that intuitive remembering of where you've walked before, or lifetimes that have made a big impact on you and what you want to remember. So I've been to Egypt 25 times, at least. Such an important place for me. And Peru and Tibet and Mexico. Wonderful, wonderful Maya lands where I've also walked. And yet, as much as I consider myself a spiritual traveler and seeker, I've never been interested in going to India, which is such a spiritual world. Good God. But it doesn't appeal to me. It doesn't attract me. And so I've never made it there. Interesting. But anyway, off the track of that, the quest that people are actually struggling with. What is my life purpose? Well, for starters, it's so important to be peaceful in your life, to find detachment. I mean, I am obviously of the Buddhist path in a way, and to be detached from all of these emotional roller coaster elements that keep you from ever really walking that path to the inner light or inner discovery, because of the need for love and the longing to be a mother or father, or so many of those important aspects of life that can enhance your life or can distract you completely from the quest of the meaning, the purpose for you, the purpose of life. What is the meaning of it all? What's the point? And, the lower point, the lower, what am I trying to say? The lower side of this energy is, what's the point? And the higher side is, what's my mission? Where are the secrets? What are the dreams that I bring to this lifetime? So again, because it's such a recurring theme in the readings I'm doing of late, I want to reassure you that, you may not discover what your mission is in this lifetime. Though you've heard me say this, you may not find your soulmate. These altruisms, these, let's say, archetypal desires. Where is my soulmate? What is my mission? Start, if you possibly can, with getting very quiet in your mind. If you really are looking to understand what your soul purpose on this planet is, start with asking yourself, am I enjoying the ride? Am I enjoying any of this? Is it all work? Is it all a struggle? Am I battling myself with imaginings of what I want to achieve and I'm not achieving? And hold on, there's a very large beeping out the window. That just shut down my thought process. Where was I? Start with imagining what the most simple things. Are you enjoying this life? Many of us are walking a tether of between bringing forward the information we know about the completely dysfunctional society that's being shoved into our consciousness as much as we will allow it, and the other side, which is the, let's say, you've heard me call it the complete dedication to love and light, nothing can touch me there mindset. They both are very overwhelming if you let them take over your mind, your state of being, and you lose your balance if you're on either side of this tether. So I've always been a proponent of looking at everything, examining dark and light. Thank you, Cosmo. I've got a prompter out in the cyber audience helping me remember what I was talking about. That's good. Thank you, Cosmo. And I've lost my thought again. I'm sorry. There's like a major beeping going on outside. Okay, cut. Unfortunately, this is live, so I can't edit it. I guess what I've come here to say is give yourself a break and be kind to yourself. And know that the closer you get to loving life, the closer you get to the big question of, is there a purpose, higher purpose? Am I supposed to be serving humanity? Am I supposed to be helping on some cosmic level? Am I a starseed that's come in to do something that I've forgotten, etc.? And get to the essence of, am I enjoying this life? Am I appreciating this life? And if not, maybe your purpose at the moment is to get to that, to get to how do I start on the more, let's say, practical level. Because one of the readings I did, the woman that I was reading said, well, Patricia, this is all well and good, but it's all very logical. I was looking for a much more spiritual approach to this. And I said, how much more spiritual is it than to get in touch with what makes you happy or unhappy so that you can clear it out of the way? And before you can contemplate, really get to what my purpose is, you've got to get to how I'm coping with life, how I'm emoting in my life, how I'm feeling about life. And, it's a hell of a waste if you're going to go through this tube that I referred to at the beginning of this talk, 70, 80, 100 years of living in a physical body without ever knowing happiness, without ever knowing joy, the wonder of it all, the beauty of it. And so start there. Thank you, Zaya. I'll try to get to that. Start there. Let's see, how can we improve our perception of life? And, boy, I mean, there's so much going on. We know that. We see the despair around us, and yet somehow we manage to still anchor in this light, anchor in the joy. And I'm so thrilled that I'm in this group. As far as the mission, the life purpose, the finding the soulmate, perhaps you never will. I think I said in an earlier talk, love the one you're with. Thank you, Crosby, Stills and Nash. Or was it, I can't remember who wrote that song. I think it's Crosby, Stills and Nash. And maybe you won't find that soulmate. Or you spend your whole life worrying about whether you're with your soulmate or not. How about you just let that go as far as part of your soul purpose, your life purpose. And if it's a partner you need, find someone who knows how to love. Look for someone who has even a clue about unconditional love. And maybe it doesn't have to be the all wondrous soul partner that you believe you had an appointment with in this lifetime. But as long as it's love, it's always good, right? As for finding your purpose, your soul mission, what is it you're looking for? When these people ask me this question, I don't know what my soul purpose or life purpose is, I'm a little bit stunned. It's like, what do you think it is? What do you aspire to? And moreover, what are your dreams? What do you want to create? You can't achieve that if you don't have a dream. And by God, take yourself to experience. We all tend to live in these comfort boxes, comfort zones of, well, not everybody's in a relationship, but a lot of people are in relationships. Some people are stuck. Some people are comfortable. And a few lucky people are really, really happy. And in our comfort zone neighborhoods, in our comfort zone jobs, and the occasional escape. I agree, Laura. The occasional escape into the exploration of other things, other obviously spiritual pursuits, etc. But I suppose what I'm trying to say is take yourself to what your passion. There it is. That's the word. Find your passion. Let's replace the idea of I'm looking for my soul purpose, which is so big. It's huge if you don't know what it is. And consider finding your passion. Because what I'm noticing now in working with so many people is a lot of people are really low on fire. And we have the 4 elements of earth, water, fire, and air within us. And fire is inspiration, the solar plexus, passion, dreams, desire, Captain Kirk. And I want to share this with you for those of you who haven't heard me explain it. One of the reasons why I'm such a Trekkie, Star Trekkie, especially of the original series, is because there was so much extraordinary esoteric information in that series. The 4 leading characters were representatives of the 4 elements. And this is not an accident. And one of the reasons why later versions of this show just don't work for me at all, aside from the fact there's no chemistry. And okay, sorry, I know there'll be Trekkers out there that are saying, "Are you crazy? I love Captain Picard," whatever. But for me, it was Captain Kirk and the crew, and that's about it. Why? Because they represented the 4 elements. Now here we go. Captain Kirk, I just love this character. Are you kidding me? A hero, pure hero energy, was fire. He was the passion. He had to go where boldly no man/woman had ever gone before to seek out. His soliloquies are always like that. This fiery passion, the dreamer, the seeker. And, I want you to hold that Captain Kirk image in your mind as I go through the others. And you can think about, who are you? Or let's say, of course, we're all a mixture of these energies, but where is your energy phase really centered right now? We then have Spock, total logic. So, okay, you've got air. Now, you've got fire, and Spock is air. It's not logical, Jim. And, of course, he has that half human side of him. But basically, Captain Spock. Mr. Spock represents the element of air. Bones, the doctor, is always emotional about everything. Everything is a big, how can you do that? How'd you feel anything? He represents water, and that represents emotion. And last but not least, Scotty, he keeps the bones of the machine of the ship running. Everything is keeping the engine going, keeping the ship. And that's the earth element. And that is also represented in the root chakra. That's security. And it's your house, so to speak. So you've got these 4 archetypal energies represented in that crew. And that's one of the reasons why I find it so fascinating to see these 4 archetypes interacting on that original series. And I'd love you to look at it through those eyes. And so my question to you is, are you Kirk? Is that fire burning within you? Because to me, this is the piece that seems to be missing for a lot of people who are seeking this eternal question. What's my purpose? What's Jim Kirk's purpose? To boldly go where no man has gone before. And perhaps you can take a piece of that in your minds and think about that. What is the place you want to go you've never gone before? Can you believe you can go there? Do you have an idea of how to go there? Get your ship ready for flight and boldly go where you've never gone before. And I'm not speaking only of traveling, of course. I know you know that I'm using this as a metaphor, although travel has been so important in my life, and for all the experiences that I've had, the wondrous, amazing experiences that have all enhanced. And sorry, I just read Laura's comment, beam me up, Scotty. Oh God, Laura, if only. I guess I'm inviting you all to have just a little inspirational moment here. And, in your struggle to make sense of it all, in your struggle to find that purpose, and especially to those of you who have come to me for help and have had readings about this very thing, I want to remind you that you've got to have a dream. If you believe there's nothing, if you've lost your ability to dream big. Or if you're being conditioned to believing that you're kind of done, and there's the group of people that are star seed that are saying, I just want to go home to my star. And I always say, this is your star, baby. You chose to be on this beautiful planet. Make it your star. And don't worry about getting back to, and besides, who wants to go back? We want to go forward, right? So I invite you in this short little moment of Zen, when the question comes of what is my purpose, to start every day. I do this every day. I say, I have a clear slate. Today is a new day. I've got a clear slate. What am I going to create this day? And by the way, I've been talking more and more about time warping, and it's just getting more and more ridiculous here, where I've noticed that particularly in the middle of the day, time just slips through some kind of a tube. And I'm wondering if that's because the sun is close. I think too much maybe, but I'm always analyzing things as well as sensing them on the intuitive level. And my analytical mind, which is the weaker part of my mind, and the intuitive mind come together on this one. And I think the sun, when it's at its peak, is sucking up some time or somehow. That is when the time shifting seems to be the most noticeable, when the sun is closest to the earth. And is that right? When the sun is closest to the earth? Or I should probably say when the earth is closest to the sun, or whatever. There's no more precise way to describe time as it slips away. But I'd love you to, and this is obviously I'm off the track again, but pay attention to this aspect of time, and let me know if you agree that there seems to be a leak in the time zone during the day. Anyway, if you're struggling with making sense out of so many things, including the purpose or your life mission, you're going to have to use some strategy to pull yourself out of those doldrums. And one of these is to get up in the morning. Some of you get up in the morning, have no time to do anything but get ready for work. But you know what? Even when you're brushing your teeth in the mirror, you can say to yourself, okay, what am I going to create this day? And no matter how busy your day is, there's always time to create something new. What am I going to create this day for me, for my soul? And make that happen. One small thing every day. And make it, as much as possible, non-material gratification. So to all of you law of attraction people out there, I love the idea of the technique, but it's so much focused on material benefit. Like, I'm going to visualize a new car, and I'm going to visualize, whatever. And if you want to start talking about a soul purpose, a meaningful soul purpose, then how about visualizing something that's good for humankind, that's good for others, that's good for the community? And by nature of doing something on that level, it will be good for you too. I'm not a big fan of the idea of constantly focusing on manifesting some material possessions. And at this stage of my life, I'm all about feng shuiing out a lot of the clutter that fills our lives. And I'm doing that all the time. In fact, I just feng shuied out a pile of batteries, and then I went in and got the pile of old computer cords. It's a gigantic box full of these cords. It's just out, out, out. Let's make room for more meaningful things. Let's make space for creation. And so when you get up in the morning, no matter how busy you are, make space for creation. And that creation being something good for the other, good for humankind. And this is kind of a way toward finding a higher mission than just getting up and going to work and coming home and cooking dinner and can feed the kids and get blah, 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 blah. This routine of life. There's so much more to life than that. So that's the first step. And another suggestion I have is try to stop beating yourself up because you don't know what your purpose is. You may never have this altruistic mission, and that's okay. However, missing out on the joy of life, that's a shame. Missing out on things that you can create around you that are beautiful and loving and serve the other. This is a main direction that you can follow to understanding more about having a purpose that is good for the improvement or the betterment of humankind. Another thing I'd like to share, and I'm rambling here, so forgive me if it's not easy, as I've said, talking live with no interaction other than your wonderful messages. It's kind of like a ramble, but anyway. On the question of struggling with this question, so much so that out of 10 people, 9 had that focus in the readings. Relax. Have some fun. Follow your passion for just a moment, because as spiritual, hello Gail, ma chérie. As spiritual people, we are struggling with holding the light and bringing light into the darkest of dark, and almost to the point where we're in this spiritual battle all the time. And things like following passion are, yeah, sure, whatever. But I want you to hold James T. Kirk up as your symbol of following your passion. Of course, he had the greater mission of discovering life in the universe. But seriously, what gives you passion? Many, many people I'm working with have no passion. Is this because they're meditating and working on higher levels, and therefore the energy is rising up? Very possible. On the other hand, I'm seeing just these chakras, the solar plexus, which is fire, is weak in so many people. And the weaker it gets, the more you lose your desire, your dreams, your force, your life force. So I'm putting out a message to everyone today. If you're looking for your life purpose, if you're asking yourself, what is the meaning of life? What is my life mission? I'd like you to start with a former comment of waking up and asking yourself what you're going to create this day. And then focusing on your power chakra. And that means, what gives me fire? What do I love? What have I stopped doing? What have I abandoned? What have I never found that gives me passion? And that can be belly dancing. It can be, and I'm not talking about sexual passion. That's a whole other discussion. Anyway, that's not really the solar plexus anyway. It's the chakra below. But what I'm talking about does not include another human being. Okay? This is about aspects of life that thrill you, that make you curious, that make you seek. Mine is spiritual travel, probably the greatest one, and the one that gives me the greatest rewards. Going back to these sacred sites and reliving those shamanic experiences over and over. But I also love photography. I love cooking. I have passion for so many things. The dolphins. My life is filled with passion. And I follow those things. And that's why you see this. Because I love life. I love this earth. I'm honored to be here. And honored to be in service as I am. So that's my, I guess, my pep talk for the day. And I really hope for you all that you can hear what I'm saying. Start turning on your flame. Turn it back up. Apathy sucks. It will never allow you to go to that high place. What is my purpose? It will keep you in what's the point? And that is a very, very dangerous place to live, in that mindset. It's very quickly you slip into depression and disempowerment. All right? So your mantra for the day is, I wake up, brush my teeth, I ask myself, what am I going to create this day? And trust me, this is the way to finding. I mean, it's a way, it's a step to getting to that bigger question. Nobody's going to wave a magic wand and say, your life mission is to save children who are dying of hunger. You've got to find it yourself. And the way you do that is to keep creating. Light up your fire. By God, turn up your flame and follow your passion. And it will lead you. Your passion will lead you to your mission if you're not already aware of what that is. It's not luck. By God, I have taken myself through so many things. Lots of joy, lots of pain, all of it I've always confronted as knowing that it's part of my path on this life, and I'm going to feel it. If I'm going to be in pain, I'm going to feel it all the way. Like I told you, if I'm going to suffer, baby, I'm going to cry until it's all the way out. If I'm going to love, I'm going to love big. If I'm going to cook, I'm going to cook great food. And this is how I live my life. And I don't expect everyone to be as fiery as I am. But by God, turn up your fire. Apathy sucks, and disempowerment just takes you further and further away from understanding why you're here. And just remember, you were this incredible light that decided for some insane, and of course I'm being comedic, for some insane reason you decided to go through the tube of physical life. You chose this. If you can own that you chose this, victimization disappears. And when victimization mindset goes, you get closer to realizing, okay, I came here for a reason. Now, what was that again? In the meantime, I'm going to have fun. I'm going to make it meaningful. I'm going to make it important. The relationships, nature, my understanding, education, the way I speak. Make it important, make it big. And trust that no matter how you despair about what's going on in the world and the countless Armageddon scenarios, you already chose when you're going out. I believe that as much as I breathe. I knew when I was coming out in, and I know when I'm going out, even though I can't remember it. And damn if I'm not going to have a great time in between, because otherwise you get to whenever that curtain falls and you didn't have a good time. It doesn't make sense, does it? So, this is Pat Cori. This has been your moment of Zen. I hope I've brought you a little fire into your day and some reflection on the question of what is the meaning of life? What is my life purpose? Dream, baby. Dream. This is Patricia Cori, sending you a big, gigantic bear hug and signing out. Thanks for listening. Big love.